everybody, what we're going to be doing today is finally putting the backup camera in this car. I don't know how much reversing any of y'all do, but when I do it, I know I can barely see out the back, especially if you've got louvers or you haven't replaced the third brake light with a high mount. So it's actually a pretty simple process. The hardest part's going to be removing the panels and running the wiring. Everything else is pretty simple. We have to drill one hole. I'll show you. We have to drill one hole right here where we're going to mount the camera. And then our wires are just going to come back through here. We're going to run them back through the stock wire loom there, and we're going to have to run them through the inside of the car. And I'm probably going to go underneath the center console where my amp wiring goes, and we're going to have to pull out the head unit. I don't know if you're stock or aftermarket. Either way, we're going to have to pull that out so we can actually plug the camera into the back of that. So let's get started. Actually removing this panel is pretty easy. It's just these 8mm bolts. There's two here, there's one right here, here, and up here, and then this one plastic push pin popper, chicken, somebody said chicken. And of course this is the actual lock cylinder, and once you get this pushed out, and I recommend being careful because you don't want to break the plastic, it comes loose. So let me finish. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, no, you still have to remove those two bolts, the nuts on the lock cylinder, and then it just pulls off. Okay, so now we got this off. We have a little hole saw, and we're just going to cut a hole right here in this blank spot, and the size of the hole will depend on your camera, but I actually have a little hole saw set, and I have the right size for here. So let me go get my camera and the bit, and we'll set that up and get that done too. This is the hole saw bit that I'm going to use. It's the right size for my camera, and I'm just going to mark my spot here and drill a hole here. Okay, so now that we've got the hole drilled in, well, the first thing we got to do is take our sticky gasket here, and I do believe I'm actually going to stick it on the camera first, so I make sure that I do it right, since I'm so prone to doing things very, very wrong. So make sure we face it the right way. There we go. Now we're going to feed the wires through the hole that we just drilled. Pull out the second sticky and make sure that we, well, A, face this the right direction, and B, you center it as best you can here. That looks pretty good. You have to forgive my side project I'm working on here. There we go. Now that's that. So now we're going to put this back on and start running our wires through the back of the trunk here. I'll probably wire tandem to this, and I don't know if we can. Yep, there we go. We'll pull that out. What on earth is going on here? Used car. See what you get. No idea what that's from. No idea, but probably from the previous owner's backup camera that they had. So we're going to run it through here, and here's our wiring here. I'm probably going to run mine back under here, and then under here, and then straight up to the radio under the console. Another little quickie deal, where to run the wires under here, there's this little plug that Subaru so nicely already put here, and I think I'm just gonna drill a hole through it and try to feed the wires through it, and use this as my grommet to hold the wiring going back into the body of the car. So as far as the wiring goes, there's this little green guy right here, and that's actually our reverse trigger wire, and I am still working on what the previous owner did to this car. I have no idea where that goes. And I found two more .40 caliber bullets in that quarter panel back there. So I don't know what these other wires are, but I'm not going to cut them off till here. Anyway, okay, that's beside the point. So the black wire off our camera is grounded into this actual factory body ground right here, and my hot wire, my red, is spliced into our green trigger wire. So that's as far as the wiring goes for the activation of the camera. And like I said, I ran it through here and I couldn't quite get the plug, and that looks like crap and I hate it. Maybe I'll do some another time, but I couldn't quite get the big yellow RCA cable to go through here, but I got the power wires too, so it's just the one, and hopefully nobody will ever look at this car with the trunk up. And then of course I've got to wire tend everything up here, but I wanted to make sure everything worked. So that's all there is to it back here. Okay, so just to reiterate, I've actually ran the video wire up underneath the center console, and if you need to know how to do that, there's lots of videos out there. I even think I might have a couple that are out there. And I'm going to come up through here and I'm going to wire tend this with the RCAs to my amp that I have also ran through here, and I'm just going to wire tend everything together so it doesn't rattle around or get into trouble. So after we remove Lucky Cat, thank you Mr. Matt Coyne, and you basically, well, at least me for how I'm running it, we've got to pull out the little cubby, and you can get the wire up here and pull it up and it'll be easier. I know we have bad lighting in here. If you pull off the little side panel here, they just pull off and you can reach up under the dash. And of course, another thing, if I can do this without breaking anything here, bear with me. You guys watch this too, in case you don't know how. Like I always tell everybody, be super careful with your trim panels. There's no sense in breaking everything, and make sure you got all 4 of the white clips here stayed on it. And then it's 4 bolts here just to remove the head unit. So I'm going to pull these bolts out real quick, lay the head unit out, and I'm going to run the rest of my video wire up through the cubby behind the AC controls and plug it in, and I'm going to turn everything on, make sure everything works. Because if you're super paranoid like me, you don't want your face on camera because of the NSA, even though it's already, okay, never mind. So I want to make sure everything works and everything's adjusted the right way before I wrap all of this up and find out something's wrong. So like I said, I'm going to pull this out, hook it up, and we'll bring it back in a minute. So there we go. And I don't know if I can actually adjust mine, because as you can see I'm looking like at the ground, which is pretty much useless. Hopefully I can adjust this thing a little bit, because I mean that's not really that helpful for me. But anyway, hopefully you'll have a bit of a better aiming luck. I'm not drilling any other holes. That's the only place I wanted to put that thing. So I'll see if I can adjust it, and if not, oh well. But at least you won't bang your exhaust or rear diffuser on there. But anyway, so pulled out reverse and camera's back off. So that's pretty much all there was to installing that camera, except now I've got to, you know, put my car back together and tend wires, which I despise doing. So that's pretty much, it's a pretty easy install actually. Running the wire was the most difficult part, but there we go.
Behind me you'll see a car.